Okay, hello Leticia, and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Hello. Thank you for inviting me.
So I look forward to this. We're gonna talk about bodybuilding, nutrition, training, and all that kind of stuff. And if you don't mind to introduce yourself to our listeners and viewers, a little bit of your history and what you do.
Well, it's a long story.
Right.
So my name is Leticia. I'm a personal trainer, fitness instructor, and also bodybuilding athlete. The started, I was in Brazil, and I decided to do an internship in order to learn English. And then I decided to come to Ireland, got here with no English at all. It was like pretty tough, period of my life, but I learned a lot from it. So I got here. One of my first jobs was as a cleaner, especially because I wasn't able to communicate properly because of the language, and it was at Westwood. And then I started there as a cleaner. After a while, I became a receptionist, and then I did a personal training course, and then I started being a personal trainer. About fitness, I've always been into it since I was 12 years old, even before that, because I used to swim and then play volleyball, started working out, lifting weights when I was 17. So, but after that, I had to start studying. So college came, and then I basically stopped being into the fitness institute and fitness industry, and going to the office every day. And when I decided to do the internship, suddenly I got this job. And it was funny because it was in the gym, so I was in a perfect environment, something that I always have. I always been passionate about it. And yeah, I was at reception when I did the first Les Mills module, which was RPM. I was even a fitness instructor yet. I was just a receptionist. And after that, I was like, yeah, I definitely go for it because I love it. And then since then, I have been working as fitness instructor and personal trainer. That's basically how was my first start here in the country.
Cool. And what kind of classes do you teach?
I teach in terms of Les Mills qualification. I teach RPM, the trip, body pump, CX Works, body attack, body combat, and also the freestyles like heat, kettlebells, circle train, this kind of basically
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah,
Body balance?
everything.
No, not the body balance.
Yeah, no.
Except yoga, basically everything.
Yeah, so that's the thing. It's not my style. I think the nice thing about personal training, fitness instructor, we always have our personality, I would say, So the type that I like, it's more like explosion or lifting weights, maybe endurance resistance. But when in terms of calming down, I'm not that good. I wish I was, but yeah, it doesn't work that well for me. But it's something that I definitely need, because every time I go to yoga or Pilates classes, that makes me feel so much better. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, as instructor, not really.
We all have our own favorite coaching styles. I wouldn't want to be teaching Zumba. I wouldn't want to be dancing around or, those type of classes.
Yeah, I used to teach dance too.
Yeah, there we go. But yeah, it's good to balance it out. But, in work, obviously, sometimes you take what's available because that's income. Yeah. And then we can talk about how it is. You mentioned when you came that you're busy between clients and classes. You teach 3 classes a day. How many days a week do you teach?
I teach 5 days a week.
So that's close to 15 classes.
Yes, but there is a balance right now. Before I used to teach loads of classes during the week, but nowadays there's a balance because I also can do floor coaching, which is interesting. So I used to teach spinning and body pump every day, for example. And yourself, how hard.
Yeah. I used to teach 4 body pumps, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, morning shift, afternoon shift, evening shift. morning shift,
There you go.
and the sleep was so messed up. I could push first three body pumps, like first two really hard. Third one I was very tired. Fourth one like a zombie.
Exactly.
I don't miss that, but it was a good challenge. But stress, a lack of sleep, always tired,
Yeah. And after a while, like after a few weeks doing it, you just like...
Burnt out?
Yes. So like even when you wake up, you already wake up like tired because you didn't have enough recovery from those classes.
Especially when you don't have like consistent sleep pattern because, one day you have to wake up at 5 to be there at 6 and starting classes already at 7. And then sometimes we had then your afternoon shift when you finish at 10:30 until you go home and eat. Yeah. And then you go to the morning shift sometimes. And it's just a mess, It's like, I think the gym owners should understand that we are humans and we have also our needs and the pattern is good to have.
Yeah, exactly. Because like we need to thinking about recovery. Because that's exactly what we teach our clients. That's exactly the way that we explain to our clients that recovery is part of the process, but we actually don't do it. We're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
And a fun thing about teaching classes is also like, I don't know if you already had this feeling, but when I'm teaching a spinning class, especially, and when it is like 8 p.m.
You can't sleep.
I get home like still like super, super, super awake, like full of energy. So it's so hard to, come down and go to sleep. Yeah. So it's just like definitely mess our result.
I'm the same. Like if I have evening classes, even 6:15, even HIIT class, and I get super excited. Yeah. I could be really sleepy during the day. And then I teach my evening class. I get my endorphins, whatever, dopamine, adrenaline combined, exciting, Yeah. And then I come home and I'm wired, Yeah. And no stimulation. I don't take any more caffeine supplements before workouts. I used to, and it messed up my sleep so badly. So I prefer to stay away from those. But at the moment, it's just a spin class, for example. It keeps me wired quite a long time.
I remember I used to get home like late in the evening. And then every time I meet my housemate, I was there like wanted to talk and talk, never stopping talking. And then she goes like, please stop. I need to sleep. Like, no, stop. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. But, yeah.
So it's actually awakening the body. Absolutely. Yeah, I understand that as well. We can talk more about your bodybuilding. So how many competitions have you done so far?
So far, I did actually only 3.
3? Yeah.
I did the regional Cork show. And then I did the national championship. And I just did the European Championship. So far.
You were to Spain, yeah?
Yeah, I went to Spain, represent Ireland, which it was like an amazing experience. Amazing. Because like I wasn't thinking at all about like how far I could go from it. And yeah, that was amazing, especially because I get the opportunity to represent the country. So I'm Brazilian,
your
so I love
your new home, yeah.
Exactly. So I love the country I'm from, but I have been living here for 4 years and a half now. And
4.5 years?
Yeah.
Is it all?
Yeah.
Really? I thought you were here longer.
No. Only 4 years and a half. And I do, of course, love Ireland. So it's kind of the feeling that I'm representing like those two countries in the European. So that was amazing experience. Definitely. When I first started, I wasn't planning to do it. Like I always like it. I always like was following the bodybuilding industry in terms of like just watching video and admire the athletes, like how they are disciplined, their mindset. But I've never thought about compete at all. But then a friend of mine, he challenged me during the lockdown. And, because of lockdown, it was like pretty much tough, like no goals, like gyms were closed. And then I was like, I need to set up like some goals in my life because now, nothing's making sense anymore. And then I accepted. And then I decided my prep, which was like pretty much confused about to decide the category. I thought I would be like in bikini category, but I'm wellness. And what basically changed is the body shape, right? And I was just in the middle of it. I wasn't a bikini, I wasn't a wellness. So that was tough to decide.
So what's the
where
difference
to go.
between the wellness and the bikini?
Bikini, they call as a V shape. So it's more like shoulders, you're more leaner. And so your quads, it doesn't need to be that big, different than wellness. Wellness, we are a little bit bigger in terms of shoulders, quads, especially glutes. And then, but like my quads at the moment wasn't that big still. They're still my weakness. And I had to really, really, really work to get the wellness shape. So yeah, it was like pretty much tough to do it. And then when I went to the National Championship, I got first place. I couldn't believe. Like if you see the video, I'm literally like, what? I couldn't believe at all. And then because I won the National Championship, I got a place to represent Ireland in the European Championship.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. Which I got like in 50th place in Europe.
Fifth?
Then 5th
Nice,
place. Yeah.
nice.
So that
Congratulations.
was amazing. Yeah. That was amazing.
Considering you're just third one, so you only started.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
That's
So
the
are you
thing.
planning to go ahead and do more?
Now I'm classified to do the World Championship, which is in November. So
Lots of preps.
yeah. Yeah.
So you're going for it.
Yeah, I'm going for it. Yeah, definitely. Like just like the feeling that a new experience again, because I'm still new on it. And things happen like so quickly.
Yeah.
It's like everything a surprise all the time.
Yeah. So how is it, your preparation, let's say, training point of view, nutrition point of view, and also the mindset? So what does it take to win those championships? How much work are we talking about? What kind of food? How many calories? What do you eat? How do you motivate yourself?
Well, it's far more complicated than like everyone thinks. I guess because we need to separate it. So it's a nutrition point. It's more about bulking and cutting, right? So when you're bulking, you need to definitely control your body fat, because what happened is usually the guys or the girls, like, they forget about controlling the body fat. They eat a lot. They get literally,
Fat.
yeah. Fat in order to build a muscle. And then when they start doing their cutting, they have like a tough cutting. They need to drop a lot of calories. And then yourself, you start getting that dead face. It's not healthy at all, and this in bodybuilding counts a lot. So when you are in stage, it's not about your shape. It's about the overall, how you look like, how you're posing.
If you look healthy, yeah.
If you look healthy. Like my category, it says self. It's called wellness.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
if I get there, nice shape, but my face would be like, a zombie face. So that's no wellness.
Yeah.
So this is very important. It's even in the federation rules.
Yeah, really?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's the balance. You definitely have to have a balance. In terms of training, because wellness is more, in these athletes, there's more like volume of muscle. So you definitely need to work on muscle mass, develop muscle mass, muscle volume. And so training changes about like in this term. Also has to follow the diet, because if you are in cutting, you need to reduce your volume of training. Otherwise, you're going to die.
You're training. Well, basically.
Exactly. So like imagine like lifting heavy weights, have a high volume of training, eating like super low calories.
How much little we talking about?
Sorry, say again?
How many calories? Like under 1,000?
Not actually. I went up to
Because you train a lot. So
1,200.
Well, that's still little. It's like for someone who exercises so much.
But the reason why it's just because like my job, so I teach classes. I have like a very, very active life. Yeah. So I am able to eat a little bit more.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that actually depends on the athlete. And in terms of mindset is the hardest.
Yeah.
Because, we still are like human beings. We still have our normal life. So I'm in college. I'm a last year in college. And I work full time.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have online clients and also personal training. So to manage everything, especially in the mindset, tough stuff, because I basically have to wake up early in the morning, work out at 6 a.m. to be ready to start my class in college at 9. And then after that, to go straight away to work as a fitness instructor and manage my clients as well, my PT clients. And also sometimes I have to get home and update my online clients training. So it is tough. So imagine like at the end of the week, I'll be like always super, super tired.
Just taking it easy.
And
you don't go for big hikes on the weekends. Yeah.
No, not at all. And also posing is something that we need to train every day.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. So about the rest point of view, I wasn't doing that well because of it. Because I still my work, I still college to go to and need to practice posing. So it was like very, very stressful. Because some athletes, that's what they do for life. That's the only thing they do. So they can manage it better.
And how do they make income? Who's gonna pay them for their looking into the mirror posing thing?
For the so that's the thing, like about income from competition. There's nothing. We just do it because of the passion from it. Unless like you get in a point that you are a pro and go for Olympia high standard competition, then you
sponsorships,
yeah, and might make money from it. And because to get sponsored, it's not easy, especially because I started to compete after the pandemic. So like companies are breaking and no. So the most I have it's sponsored from supplement store, which my friend is the owner, and then he helps a lot, like give me supplements, give me this support, but it is a definitely expensive sport.
Of course, I heard so. Yeah.
But it's an amazing experience because you challenge yourself all the time.
Oh yeah, you're building your best self.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's cool.
Worth it.
And what do you eat? What kind of foods do you eat when you're bulking and then when you're cutting? What changes?
Changes all the time. So that depends on how your body reacts from the diet. So I got to a point that it was funny. So when I was like bulking, I woke up in the morning and I used to have like a crazy breakfast. It was up to 1,000 of calories, only my breakfast. Yeah, because of like chilling and being active all the time, teaching classes all the time. So like to reach that amount of calories intake per day was pretty much tough. So basically lots of carbs. Fat, it doesn't work well for me in terms of skin, especially skin. So we tried, didn't work, and then we have to change. So low fat and more carbs in terms of protein intake doesn't change that much, but the maximum you can. Of course, like being within the calculation we have for protein intake.
How much would that be for you?
When I was in bulking,
like
I don't actually
140,
remember.
160, something like that? No?
Yeah, 40 something.
140 something, yeah. And your body weight is what?
My body weight went up to 67.
67?
67, yeah. And then dropped to 64, which is now my normal weight. But in the national championship, I went to stage 58. And in the European championship, I was with 60 kg.
Would you keep that low body fat even after competition or just quickly bounces back?
No. Because to be honest, it's not even healthy.
Yeah.
And takes an effort to keep it, especially because of my routine. So I prefer like have a higher body fat there. I wouldn't feel that tired like I am now. So the body fat I am now, like for me, it's perfect. I'm okay with it because...
What's the percentage like?
I like between, I'd say 16.
Yeah.
16. It's okay. For me.
I've noticed females, for example, have normally in average around 10% more body fat than guys.
Yeah.
So let's say if a normal sort of like a recommended body fat percentage for a normal guy would be 15, for girls would be 25. And then I've seen like kind of skinny girls will be around 20. So now we're talking about having muscles and being 16. So that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Because like you need to also consider that we are athletes. It's like training
a lot.
Exactly. So it's completely different. If it's a person who doesn't work out that much, have a different routine than we have, their body fat would be around 20, 25 for sure.
If they're okay, because most population is overweight these days.
Yeah.
Because that's the trend,
Yeah,
having
average
fun
nowadays for girls in my age, like I'm 29 now, it's around 30%, 30
and
something.
Doctors recommend 25. So it shows how, as I'd say a lot of societies, as they get more income, they start abusing the food for the pleasure.
Yeah.
Drinking more, socializing more.
Especially because also it's easy. So if you have a busy routine, you just, after work, you just go there, grab like any sandwich or whatever is there, and then you eat quickly. So it's easier too.
Yeah.
It's easier, it's quite cheap, I would say. And then I think like that's why. And also, going out, few drinks, eating a lot during the weekends with friends. It's also something, especially during the pandemic, like everybody got desperate to go out and enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Well explained. What would regular people looking for weight loss, what can they learn from bodybuilders?
For weight loss. Okay. What they have to learn, they would learn from it, work hard.
Simply.
And it's simple as it is. And also intensity. Because like some people, they come to me and they say, okay, I have been working out for years and doing diet or whatever, but I can't see any difference. Okay, but then when I go to the gym floor with them, they are not putting that much effort on it, especially girls, because we have this mindset, even the way that our parents treat us since we were kids, like, okay, you are so sensitive, like, oh, poor girl, and blah, blah, blah. No, you can do this, let your brother lift it up for you, and blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
And then when you go to the gym, you're like, okay, start burning, I'm going to stop. Yeah. Well, like, no, you need to go to the gym and work out as a beast and make it intense as everybody does, Like,
everybody who gets results does.
Exactly. Your body going to get results from challenging.
Yeah.
That's what people sometimes don't understand, but that's the nice thing when they understand that, especially girls, when they understand that it can definitely lift heavy, or not even only about weight loss, like doing any other workout with like more intensity on it, like give.
Because you build muscles as well. You build muscles and you show some shape then.
Exactly.
More muscles also burn more fuel. I mean, it's not as significant as some people would think that you're going to build, let's say, 2-3 kilos of muscles. Suddenly you can eat twice the amount of food. No, it's just maybe like 3-5% calories you're burning on autopilot.
That's another mistake too.
What is it?
Yeah, because like they are working out like with more intensity, like feeling more tired,
they think they can eat.
Feeling like hungrier, and then they eat more.
Yeah,
and then you need to always like keep on track and like just to make sure that they have their deficit of calories in case for like tone up or weight loss. Yeah. And also like going back about food, or I had said that it's easier to buy like anything from the shop, like trash food or whatever. It's easier because also my Sundays are like, I need to prep my meals for the week. It's not a nice job to do.
It's cooking for 2 hours.
So exactly, like we need to cook like
Clean up dishes
container for the week. Like it's not nice, and weight my food. So yeah, it's not that nice. But once you get it, and once you see how this could benefit yourself, you would do it anyways. And also about weight loss, when you are starting, you don't actually have to weight your food. Once you
just
learn how to manage and take it easy and have the balance, you change your body for sure. It's like making it even like more simple.
Yeah, I think biggest problem for many people it is food addictions. And sometimes we don't like to admit that too much. I had a sugar addiction when I was younger, and the addiction was for 25 years of my life. And sometimes I was desperate going to the shop to buy a big amount of sugary desserts, and I would just munch them. And I knew I had a problem. So last couple of years, maybe 6, 7, 8, around 8 years, I'm kind of clean, but I can understand really my clients when I don't stress them about it. If they have right time, right amount of determination, they will beat that addiction, like any drug addiction or alcoholism people have. We do have it with food as well, and we sometimes need help with someone to get us out of it.
We do.
With a plan.
And the process has to be like gradually. You cannot, like, again, about food, I'm not asking someone who never worked out before, never was in like diet before, and suddenly ask them, okay, you need to work out 7 days a week and weight your food. Like the person would give up straight away for sure.
A week or less.
Yeah. So we need to like go definitely step by step, understand their problems. And there's lots of like different, not supplements, but like these kind of spreads, for example, that they have like lower calories and taste like chocolate. Yeah. So you need to play around this to get them used to it, and gradually take this off, this addiction from them. So that's definitely important to manage, like understand their point of view, understand their addictions.
I'd like to actually add into that with the food addiction, the sugar addiction is that also there's a yeast overgrowth in the digestive flora. So actually, as you decrease the carbohydrates, you should increase fiber and vegetables, maybe even keep the fruit on low, and maybe take some probiotics so you harmonize your digestive flora. And eventually, as you starve them of sugar, the good bacteria start to grow and the bad bacteria start to be dying off. And then eventually, if it lasts long enough, you will have a more harmonized digestion.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I always explain to them. Even like sometimes they use like MyFitnessPal to manage their calories, but in some point you definitely need a professional to looking to help you out with it, because it's not only about calories. There's loads of points that we need to consider before you give some like diet advice or whatever.
Such as? You can tell us a little bit. So what do you analyze? What do you consider, for example?
Lifestyle. Or like, this is a nice thing too. Our routine in Brazil is different than routine here in Ireland. Why? Because we don't have like that big breakfast, for example, as like the same in USA. So in USA, they have like a huge breakfast. And then for lunch, a small lunch, maybe a toast with something. And then the biggest meal will be in the dinner, right? In Brazil, it's a bit different because our breakfast is not that big. And then during the lunch, it is like a big meal. So
Then you go sleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Not actually. No, not actually. And then we have like a few snacks during
So the
the
Spanish
afternoon.
do have it siesta.
Yeah,
Yeah. They
yeah,
go
yeah,
eat
yeah.
a lot. They go nap. Yeah.
That would be good. Well, like for sure, like Sundays, it's always like that because I used to go to my grandma's house on Sundays, and then after lunch you'll be dying, like the amount of food. But yeah, like and even about the kind of food you intake from each person. So in Brazil, we don't actually eat porridge in the morning.
So what do you eat for breakfast in Brazil?
Bread, butter, not that different in here, but like
Eggs maybe? No?
no.
No?
Sometimes, but not
Just
always.
bread and butter, that's it?
Yeah, like usually.
Yeah.
And then coffee with milk. That's the like most of the population eats during the morning.
So
then
bread,
lunchtime,
butter and coffee with milk. That's it?
yeah, toast with butter and coffee. Yeah.
So carbs,
Cheese,
bit of fats. Yeah.
cheese, yeah, but not sometimes eggs, but not always. And then lunchtime is like huge amount of rice, beans, meat, that like huge amount of food. So it's a bit different than here. So we need to analyze the client, where your client is from and their routine. Some people, they work, for example, as like security guard. So basically sleep in the day.
Yeah.
And they work during the night. So what would you do?
Yeah.
And of course, like these problems with sugar and addictions, for sure. Yeah. Or some of them, sometimes they are afraid of eating. And we need to explain them to make them understand that you definitely need to. And it's going to help you to losing weight too. So always like trying to find a balance and analyze their profile.
Yeah, cool. Well explained. Thank you for that. With the protein, so what would you say to people who want to lose weight? Should they eat more or less protein? You know where I'm going into.
Yeah. So the protein has to be calculated anyways.
Yeah.
Right. So there's it called like macronutrients. So that's about like nutrition part to make yourself have like enough nutrients for your daily activity, right? But if you are eating an amount of protein that you actually don't need, first of all, you are just spending money. Secondly, it's also calories, so you're taking more calories from that. You actually don't need it.
Turning to fat, maybe.
You're turning to fat. So you basically need to calculate about like how many of these macronutrients you do have to intake. And then, of course, like reduce a little bit more carbs and fat, especially fat, something that we need to be careful because fat, when you eat, I'll say a spoon of peanut butter, like this huge amount of calories on it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You better reduce that and put more in carbs because you're going to feel like full.
Yeah.
So that's going to be better for you. Or if you are in a bulking, for example, if you need to intake loads of calories, it's the opposite way around. Because if you...
Take more fat, yeah.
Yeah, because if you are intake only carbs, for example, or mostly of carbs, you'd have to eat a huge amount of food and then it will be like harder. So you might decrease a little bit of your carbs and add more fat, then you have the amount of calories that you would have for a bulking.
So how would you add fat? What kind of fat would you add? Some oil, seeds, nuts, butters?
The only thing about nuts, at least for me, it's because I love them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too.
So
me too. I'm snacking on nuts all the time.
If I have to and have only like a small spoon of peanut butter, it will make me like sad because I want to keep eating.
Yeah.
But what I would recommend is like, of course, like nuts, peanut butter, avocado. It's a really nice one. Eggs.
And it has a protein as well. Avocado.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like eggs, it's really good too.
Yeah,
but
protein,
as long as I have the balance.
And it's protein and fat only.
Exactly.
No carbs whatsoever.
Yeah. So basically like clean and healthy fat.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Anything to add to that?
No, maybe like in terms of bulking again, or when they have like a crazy routine. I had a client like a few days ago. It's good to go for liquid, how can I say this in English? Meals?
Yeah. Like smoothies.
Smoothies, these kind of things. Because like if you are working, I don't know, like if you don't have time in your work to stop and eat your food.
Drink them. Yeah.
Drink them. Yeah. So like get like protein shake, oats, peanut butter. I always say peanut butter because I love it.
Same.
Add everything there.
Yeah.
And then drink it. Yeah.
Actually, when I was at my leanest, I think I was around 9-10% body fat. It was a bit lighter, maybe 10 kilos lighter than now. I was very athletic. I was doing a lot of cardio, and then I wanted to bulk up. And because I was doing so much and I was vegetarian, I wasn't eating that much meat. So, well, only fish, maybe twice a month I would have salmon. So I was mostly on sort of like a vegetarian diet. So for me, I would eat 10 bananas a day.
Wow.
A lot of peanut butter, whey protein, and I would make these smoothies. I would add spirulina, chlorella, barley grass, wheatgrass, all sorts of powders. I would just add it into it.
But what was your goal?
My goal at that moment, I want to just be strong, fit, and eventually to bulk up on muscles, but staying lean. Mm-hmm. But, like...
That's why the fish then. That's why the fish then.
Just to keep some of the sort of animal protein, just to cover my needs back then.
Because like fish is a source of protein that has less fat. So maybe you would have like the same amount of protein you would have when you are eating like chicken or red meat, but it's leaner. So sometimes when I am in a diet that I'm eating only fish, I might feel like hungry because of it. But it's good, like makes a huge difference in my body when I mostly eating fish. It's really good.
One thing to add, I used to cycle 20 hours a week.
What?
So I was mountain biking. So I was in competitions, marathons, all sorts of stuff. I was always on the bike in the mountains almost every day when I could. But then when I became a trainer, obviously that had to decrease because I was working so much more and still doing 12 classes a week. So for me, to be honest, I'm actually now just coming back to that kind of style of eating. Is just to do a lot of smoothies and snack on fruit and eat nuts, and it suits me. To be honest, I can easily trade off a proper full meal and just have sort of like a few apples, few bananas, a few nuts, and I'm happy. Seriously, I can survive on that for weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. If there's a shortage of food and this is for me available, I'll be happy. It gives me everything I need, really.
You've always been like that, or you've changed?
Lots of eggs. I keep experimenting. I keep changing. I used to eat lots of eggs even since I was a teenager. I would have these massive dinners. I would drink like as a 15 years old to get my calories because I was also very active. I wanted to put on weight. I used to play football for 9-10 years. And for me to bulk up, I had so many calories. I was drinking 2 liters of milk every day, put sugar into it. Not the healthiest thing. And then I would have dinner with like 8 to 10 eggs with cheese, with some ham, with bacon, olives. And I would have it like 11 p.m. regularly and then go to bed.
Wow.
And that was my nutrition.
Yeah. That's nice because like we have like different methods, even like for like bulking and cutting. And I love this part of how we manage the type of food for you, like to get your calories intake according to your routine. So that's great. That's the way that we need to consider for every clients for sure. Like for example, they are like same as us. So for example, they are drivers from Deliveroo, for example. And then imagine
they're on the bicycle all the time.
Yeah. I'll tell them, okay, and then every day you're gonna do like 45 minutes cardio in the bike. Like
he does cardio already.
He does cardio already. So yeah.
Cool. And with the let's go into the training methods. So what kind of training do you do for bodybuilding, which could eventually reflect to kind of confirm what we do as personal trainers, and also the reason why we train our clients who want to stay fit, lean, lose weight? Why do we train them like bodybuilders do?
It doesn't change much. Training is training in terms of lifting weights, hypertrophy. The only thing that changes is you need to play around the volume of training for each part of our body. So, for example, you had asked me, like, what's the difference between bikini and wellness? And you need to have a look in your client's shape and then get to know what the federation is looking for. So if it is, for example, I'm bringing an athlete in September and she's figure and she needs to build up shoulders because of what's supposed to be a figure shape, what the judges are looking for. So the volume of shoulders training for her, it's higher than it would be for a bikini, for example. That's the thing that changes. And then we need to track all the time, like purely having a look again, like taking pictures, like where is developing more, and then you play around the volume of training for each part of their body. That's the thing that changes, basically, just working out in volume.
So what kind of exercises, what style does it involve? What kind of resistance training? Like typical exercises? Is there anything special, anything extra?
Typical exercises.
Would you stick with the basic stuff, or is there something special, some alternative to what we already knew 30 years ago? Is there something new, or we come back to basics?
Basics works.
Yeah,
I love it. But basically depends on which phase they are. So, for example, first I would just having a look in their technique, if they are doing everything right in the basics. After that, we need to analyze the training that they are used to, because we need to analyze their volume of training. Because if I don't know my client, the way that he or she works out, how do I know the volume of training or the variation of training I would give them? I don't know if they are beginner, intermediate, or advanced. So we need definitely to have a look on it, like their historical. And working on prioritization. Prioritization.
Yeah.
So we start like hypertrophy training, and some point maybe strength training, and then going back to hypertrophy again.
So for those who don't know what hypertrophy is, it's actually muscle building. It's increasing muscle size training.
Yeah, thank you. And strength training is very important as well, in these terms. And when we are in our peak week, the week before, we just do a full body workout, like simple, low volume of training, especially because of diet. So we're not...
Still with heavy weights or not so much?
No, not so much, because that's the point about hypertrophy. And it's not about lifting heavy.
Yeah, it's just to stimulate muscle rather than destroy it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I keep saying to my clients or in a class, I was like, we're not trying to destroy muscles. We try to stimulate. I mean, to find a level where you are challenged. It's hard, it's challenging, but it's not like that you can't walk after the class. That's too much.
Yeah. It's manage the intensity. So it could be in reps or weight. So
lack of recovery, maybe.
Recovery,
yeah.
Exactly. So it's not about like lifting weights. I say to them, like, you're not a powerlifter, you're a bodybuilder. It's completely different.
I also keep saying, I have a saying, I say, we're not in the construction. We're not building a house. We don't bring the brick from point A to point B.
Yeah.
We are trying to make the muscles tired. The muscle doesn't care how much lifting or how many reps you do, but it remembers the intensity, the fatigue that it perceives.
Yeah, because they were too much about like the numbers. Mm-hmm. I was lifting this, I was lifting that.
But the quality over the quantity.
Yeah. So like, you don't know, like sometimes you're not like feeling that good. You're not lifting the same weight as you did like in the week before.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you were feeling just like amazing. You ate well, and then you're feeling like far more like stronger than last week, the week before. So like it doesn't matter. It's a matter like that day, doing your best, and don't worry about numbers.
Yeah.
Just make it intense. It doesn't matter if it's if you're getting like less weight than the week before.
Is there a particular tempo you normally do? Like
tempo, it's a kind of variation of workouts too.
Second, please.
Tempo, it's also kind of workouts too. It's a variation of workouts. Sometimes you just do like normal cadence, and sometimes it's nice to work in super slow. It's a good example for workouts at home, because it's also another way to increase intensity. So you don't have machines, you don't have weights at home, but if you play around the tempo, they're like the same as we do for body pump. If you play with tempo, you might increase your intensity. So you can increase your intensity by reps, by rate, and also like cadence.
Yeah. It's we call it in body pump muscle confusion training, or the rep effect we call it. And it's basically confusing the muscle and stimulating it different way than it was used to. And even within one long set, you can change. Let's start slow. Let's say 4 seconds up, 4 seconds down. And then you speed it up to 2-2, or then 1-1, or you go like down, pause at the bottom, slowly up. So all these like 4-4, 3-3, 3-1, 1-3, 2-2, 1-1-2. 1-2-1, whatever it is. Bottom halves, top halves, middle pulses, and all that stuff. So I like actually explaining to people as well, just to mix it up a little bit. But my recommendation always is just keep it simple. Get people just first enjoy their training, get a good technique, as you mentioned as well, get a good form, get it checked, and then work on your base and build it up and build confidence, and just keep pushing and just be patient with it, and to do also, some other stuff on outside of the personal trainings, let's say their own homework of doing that cardio or doing steps. And then it's mostly their job to keep up the nutrition. We're not babysitting them. We're not feeding them. We're not looking over their shoulders with every meal. So they have to be really disciplined for themselves. We can help them, but it's their inside job.
Exactly. And that's one of the things that you learn a lot from bodybuilding. You are there prioritizing yourself. That's it. I'm going to wake up early in the morning because I need to practice my pose. So I'm thinking about me. So I'm waking up earlier because I need to have my workouts done, because I'm thinking of me. I want to be looking great at the stage. I'm not getting any money from this. So this is for me. It's my personal goal. So that was very important to me, because I always, I'm used to prioritize like my jobs, like third things, like instead of myself, So once you get this mindset that you are the most important person in your life, you would get there, because first of the things, like in health point of way, if you are not healthy, you won't be able to work. You won't be able to, enjoy your kids at home, enjoy your friends, your family. And aesthetic point of view, we all love aesthetic. Like you go like to have your hair done, your beard done and everything, you would need to think about your workouts. You want to look great too. That's gonna make you feel good, but you still need to put effort for it. And then that's only for you. So I'm going to give you the workouts. I'm going to give you diet tips, but it's up to you. There's nothing else I can do for you. Like if you want to help, I'll help you. But the attitude, it has to be like from you. Just like having this mindset. And I learned a lot from bodybuilding. Like me, like I'll be thinking of me like in the first place, and then other things.
It's similar when I have a client who kind of, I feel they're drifting away, but you can't force it. Like if someone is, let's say, example, somebody is inquiring about personal trainings, and then you answer them, but they never come back I'm like, okay, well, they were not motivated enough. They were like kind of like in between. They were not sure if they actually want to do it. So maybe financially, maybe commitment, maybe just part of their life when it's just not the right time.
Yeah.
But I never chase people. I never go and follow back because they ask me first. At least they could follow back. It's like, actually, you know what? I decided not to do it. But when they don't come back, I know they are gone. I'm not going to chase them. They wouldn't be a good client for me, you know?
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, we love what we do. And more than the money, we want to get them results.
True.
So if your client is not willing to get results, there's no point. It's just like waste of time, you know.
Your energy and enthusiasm.
Exactly. And takes a lot, you know yourself, takes a lot of work, energy. So the thing is, like, of course, some people, they need help and we are there for them. But if the person is not willing, there's no point to, you know, chasing. And
as they say, you can bring the horse to the river, but you can make the horse drink the water.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So yeah, there was one thing you mentioned about preps, and I wanted to ask, actually, maybe you help me with prepping my own meals. So what would you recommend for prepping?
For like meals?
Yeah, what would you do? What kind of meals do you prep, and what's your strategy? What's your general strategy for that? I want to know some tips. Maybe I can improve what I do. Why not? Maybe some of my clients, listeners, can improve their way of prepping for the week.
Yeah. So basically, I have like my containers there that you can get like in Deals or Eurogiant, and then I cook my carbs, my vegetables, and everything, at least for 2 days. Also my protein, and then you can put it in the fridge,
Or freezer even,
or freezing.
Yeah.
But you cannot. It depends on the meal. Like you cannot do it for the week. So
because it will spoil. Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
So at least like carbs, I get it done, and then during the week, my work is only like to prep the protein. No, that makes easier.
So what carbs, what veg, what fats, what meat or whatever?
Well, I love rice. So basically like my daily meal for sure, like I would have rice, you know. But the way that I do, I actually cook the rice. So I like to cook it and put like garlic, sauce, like prep a nice rice. And then my vegetables too. So I put them on the freeze too. And putting all together in my container. So it's 2 meals, like the main meals per day. And then depends on your routine. So I'm usually in the mornings at home. So my breakfast, I do it at home.
So what would be your breakfast? Just to jump into that.
Eggs, toasts.
How many eggs would you eat for your 60 plus weight? Yeah. 4 eggs, yeah?
4 eggs.
I'm just trying to extract all the information here.
Well, like, you know, like it depends on your weight, your height, and everything. It has to be considered.
So we said you are like 64 kilos, yeah? 63?
Yeah. So
mostly muscles and 16% body fat. So good.
No, now my body fat is not, you know, I'm not that shredded I was before. But so yeah, like 4 eggs, and then a toast, and 2 toasts actually, like one to eat with the bread and cheese, another one peanut butter. Love it.
So peanut butter is there as well. We have just discovered.
Cheap. And lunch, which is the same as dinner, I would eat like rice, vegetable salad, and chicken or red meat. Sometimes fish. But again, I feel hungry if I eat fish.
It's not as fulfilling, easier to digest, I guess,
Yeah. And then snacks, what I love is
peanut butter,
Yeah. But I get yogurt, and then I mix with my protein. Chocolate.
What kind of yogurt? Is it the Greek style or natto or protein yogurt?
Greek style.
Because the protein yogurt that actually they sell these days, it's actually the Greek style protein without fat. So it's actually just mainly protein.
Yeah.
Which is very handy for weight loss programs. So because the fats are the biggest calorie addition to that Greek style yogurt? Because I had some clients that's like, oh, I love Greek style yogurt. So I was like, how much do you eat of it? Then it's like, okay, well, there's also no fat version of it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
No,
just wanted
it's
to
fine.
mention
Like
that.
sometimes they come to me, like I ask like how the diets go. Like, I eat like healthy, lot of vegetables. They always mention I eat a lot of vegetables. I was like, okay, cool.
So what else?
What else? Like we eat vegetables, and then at the weekend, like
Pizzas, yeah.
pizza, burger, and then Coca-Cola. Like, okay, great, but I'm eating vegetables.
Yeah.
Yeah, like so for snacks, yogurt Greek style, and I love adding protein powder, chocolate, my favorite, and then a little bit of oats, peanut butter.
Of course.
But I always decide if I put my peanut butter in the morning or in snacks. So when I don't have in the morning, I put in my snacks.
But you calculate, you know how much you should take of everything to balance your macros.
Yeah, I always think like, if I take it now, I would take only tomorrow. So later.
Yeah.
And mix everything. And actually, oats or granola. Love granola. And then light granola, please. And strawberries. That's my snack, like my favorite snack. And dinner would be the same.
Second, please.
Dinner would be the same as the lunch.
So you have that box already, yeah. And would it be handy for just freezing it? Like you do like massive meal, or it's just not possible to cook for the whole meal and fit it into the pot?
No, it is
possible, and it's okay, convenient to freeze it and then unfreeze it overnight.
Yeah.
Put microwave next day, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. I have no problem with it.
Yeah, cool.
That's, of course, like fresh food will be better, but like,
convenience, like for someone who works so much like you, and then you go to college and then you work out,
I have no option.
Yeah, you don't have another option than spending extra half an hour or more to cook, and then also cleaning up all the dishes.
Cleaning up. Oh my god.
Unless you can afford a servant, and there's like bringing you meals. Most people have to work really hard to make everything happen.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing. When I have to prep my meals, like in the middle of a week, I would go to bed like even later, because still need to cook and then clean everything. Then so it's gonna be like, it will be like harder. So definitely like trying to get everything ready as much as I can during my Sunday to prep my meals for the week, and that's it. Just to make everything easier because of the routine.
Yeah.
But I would love to have fresh food for sure. Yeah.
So what is your biggest challenge now with the preparations? Where are your strengths? Where are your weaknesses from everything? Nutrition, exercise, motivation. What is your weak spots and strong spots?
The hardest part is the routine. Like same as I had explained before, like manage everything. And in some points, like when we get close to the summer, like we get busy in terms of clients. They want like miracle for the summer. And what was I saying? So basically like manage the routine, especially when I'm in college. That's the hardest part. And because of the classes, when I'm cutting or close to the championship, it's harder to manage like cravings. That's the hardest part. So
will you be very hungry when you cutting?
Yeah, especially after teaching class.
So you're going from how many calories to what after? Like what's your sort of like a bulking, maintenance, and cutting? How much difference we're talking about?
It has to be cut like gradually. So that's why I mentioned before, like we need to be careful and control your body fat. Otherwise we'll have like to get into a strict diet straight away, which is not healthy, is not.
So what would happen? Would you be feeling lethargic, depressed, exhausted?
Yes. Because like it affects your hormonal system too, like psychologically too, like everything can, crash.
Yeah, crash.
So you
Good term.
need to be careful of that. But like usually it's like, I would say drop your calories in 300 and then after that.
Weekly or like every few weeks? How long are you cutting then?
Depends on, well, that's the thing about bodybuilding is not, you actually need to keep tracking because it's very personal. Even the night before, for example, we used to have like our carb up the day before. So we eat a lot the day before I go to stage.
Oh, really? Just to make the muscles more full looking?
Yeah, because like in the last week you would feel like flat because you are
skinny,
like
kind of like
skinny.
Yeah.
And then for sure you look at yourself, you're like, that's not gonna work. I'm flat now.
How do you
like
feel?
everything that I gain, it's gone, and you feel like terrible.
Yeah.
That's one of the psychological part that's not good, because you need to understand that this is part of process too. And then the day before, we do carb up, and then, which is great because you feel like your muscle like, getting bigger, like filling up. But also at the end of the day, we usually eat like pizza. And then when you look at the mirror, your stomach will be like this size. And then again, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. But in the following day, after you digest everything of that food, you just look great. It's like magic.
Yeah.
And that's why we cut that amount of calorie, and it's tactic, strategy. And it's just because like your muscle get flat, and especially imagine after your muscle like saying, look, I need food, please give me. Are you crazy? Like for how long?
So how long roughly?
Depends on the person. Like because of the body fat, we need to control it. If you are dropping your body fat, you need to take it easy or maintain it or drop in even more. But I would say especially in the last 4 weeks, you will drop. But it's very personal. And then after that, in the following day, your muscle will be like, well, because you are giving what your body needs, and your body would absorb all of this. And the pizza, just especially because of the salt, because in that week you're not intaking salt. Yeah. And then when you intake it, your body muscle retain, the muscle water. And then you get like bigger, and then everything goes the right way.
So now we also have a recipe of looking puffed, having lots of carbs and salt, yeah?
Yeah.
So people then be holding a lot of water in their body and looking puffed.
Yeah. So that's the strategic for bodybuilding. Like in peak week, that's what we do. Like decrease, you look like, like stressed, hungry, tired.
Irritated,
and like...
How do you manage then people around you, your clients, and work and focusing? That's the hard part, isn't it?
Harder, yeah. Like the best thing it is like to, of course, like take it easy. So maybe like if you can drop your hours a little bit to have like some rest, because definitely it's not, I would say, it's not like the best part of the prep. Like peak week is the week that you are in our extreme, like no food. It's more about like water intake, and your mood will be like, terrible mood for sure.
And you as a trainer, would you do everything for yourself, or you have someone helping you?
In terms of
someone who is, so do you have like a support team, someone who is actually coaching you, pushing you, training wise, nutrition wise, measurements, or you do everything yourself?
No.
Or you work with like a team, like where you help each other?
Yeah, like for prep, you definitely need a coach.
Yeah?
Yeah. Even if you have experience. Like I don't have experience in bodybuilding. I just went through 3 competitions. I can't say that I have experience, I'm getting experience now because I was coaching a girl last year. She's bikini, and we won first place in the national championship. Overall, she got everything. And this year, I'm prepping 6 athletes for this year, so I'm getting experience from that. But coaching ourselves is completely different, because the way that we see ourselves is different than we see our clients, for example. You know that.
Yeah.
Especially for bodybuilding, because we have like these details, especially in diet. So you actually need like someone more experienced in terms of diet. For example, I'm not a dietitian. So for my clients, for my athletes that I'm prepping for September, October, I'm working on training wise, but I have someone else working on their diet. So you definitely would need like someone to looking after you. And especially coaching yourself for extreme sports like this, you'd get tired, you get, stressed. And if you're coaching yourself, and also like everybody's like that, when you look at the mirror, it's not the same as someone else look at you.
Yeah.
You always have this.
You might be looking amazing and you tell yourself, I'm not good enough.
Exactly.
This is terrible. Yeah, because you have so many doubts about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So no, I wouldn't commend like being coaching, like self-coaching. Always like have someone to help you out with it. Okay. Definitely.
So that's good to hear from a personal trainer, to know that even personal trainer needs someone to kick their butt a little bit.
Well, that's the thing. Like we need to value this profession, because everybody needs a personal training, even a personal training.
Yeah.
It's like I have a coach who helps me, but like training, I always train on my own, and sometimes I'm super, super tired, and I always have one of my colleagues like, look, this is my workout. Can you train me today? Because I can't. Like,
yeah.
And then they help me a lot.
Yeah.
Like I need someone to push me.
Yeah.
So for sure, like we'll always need like someone. If we always have like someone to help us out with like anything else in our life, that would be like better.
Yeah, always helps. Yeah. And would the classes help you? The classes that you do, whatever, body pumps, body attack, or any of those, would that help you with your conditioning? Or is it really purely the heavy weights? Or you would say that, let's say, certain type of classes can actually really be beneficial for gaining a good definition or even just building muscles?
To be honest, no.
No? You think it's not enough?
It's just because the style of workout. So, for example, in body pump, you would do the leg track, like 6 minutes squatting all the time. Plus, you also need to do your hypertrophy or strength training in the gym, and doesn't work well. You can get definitely injury from that.
Because you overtrain one particular system.
That actually happened with me last year.
Okay.
Yeah, so I hurted my back because of it. So that's not great, because again, manage the volume of training.
Yeah.
So you definitely need to be careful with it. And spinning classes are great. But also again, for building muscle, recovery is one of the most important things. So once you don't have the time to recovery, it's also not good.
Yeah.
So if you're teaching spinning every day, you are not able to recover completely before your next leg day.
Especially from your hypertrophy training. Yeah,
exactly.
The muscle building training.
Exactly. And usually like bodybuilders, for example, they do like cardio in low intensity, not in high intensity. In our classes, it's always high intensity workouts. So that's definitely, it doesn't help much. But we always try to, manage it, because still it's our job.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
And if you would stop bodybuilding, and what do you think you would take to your everyday life from that?
Say it again?
So when, for example, in the future you will stop competing, but for your everyday life, for your, let's say, job, or for your personal life, what would you take from it as a benefits?
Discipline.
Yeah.
And prioritize yourself. Again, discipline, it's something that if you don't want to do something, like, for example, wake up early to work out. Sometimes you're going to feel motivated to do it, great. But sometimes something might happen with family or whatever, you're not feeling good, or you're just like tired, you don't want to do it, and your body always say like, no, stay here, we watch Netflix, stay for more a few minutes. But then just keep this mindset and discipline to say like, no, I have to go. I have to do it.
Yeah. Would you put it into a calendar? Like this is my workout?
Yeah.
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 I do that sometimes as well.
So that helps a lot because like I do like the same for work, for study.
Have an
because,
agenda,
like,
this is my day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Because
think
like
I think
sometimes you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Like the thing is, don't wait for motivation to start doing your things.
Yeah.
You know, if
'Cause usually-
this is your goal,
Yeah.
you need to set up it, plan it, and do it. This is discipline. If you wait for motivation,
Yeah.
it's not
But
going to work.
sometimes you might feel tired, but you might be tired mentally. Let's say someone who is sitting in the office all day, they're not physically tired, they're mentally tired.
Exactly.
But they think they're physically tired. So they think they have to go home and lie down on the sofa and watch TV and eat while maybe they can have a snack. And even as they are tired, just start moving, go to the gym, warm up. In 2 minutes, you're going to feel like a new person because of the activation of your energy systems.
Exactly.
So sometimes it's just put it into calendar, put into agenda, couple of times a week when you know you have gaps, and prioritize the training. Go there, and even if you're feeling really tired, do very little. But trust me, everyone, as you start warming up, you start to realize, actually, I'm fine.
Yeah.
And you're actually going to have a good workout.
Exactly. So basically, you need to, when I say like prioritize yourself, it's just about having this compromise. The same as you put in your calendar, in your alarm, like when you're going to work, you need to do the things for you too, in the same way, because this is as important as it is in your work.
Yeah.
So that's the main point, and that's something I definitely learned from bodybuilding style. Definitely, like the discipline.
Yeah. Without discipline, nothing is done.
Yeah.
Really.
Discipline and courage, because discipline is something that you do even when you don't want to do, and courage is something that if you are afraid of doing something, if you're not afraid of doing something and you do, this is not courage. But if you are afraid and you do it anyway, this is courage. So that's two things, the most important thing that I learned from it. And like, even if you are afraid of something, if you believe, go for it.
Yeah.
Life's short.
Even for you, just being there, actually being judged by the judges and also yourself, your friends and the other competitors, and it might be stressful, especially going after such a roller coaster of stress.
You have no idea, because I've always been like super shy.
Yeah.
Super shy child. Super. And even like before I come here, I told you like I'm a bit nervous because like I'm not used to speaking publicly. You're always like terrible.
And you're very good, actually.
So that was like one of the biggest challenge for me. Wearing a bikini, high heels, and be on stage, being judged by a lot of guys over there. Yeah, like in the European Championship, because it was like a really, really different experience in terms of how big this event is. I got there and I was like one of the first categories. So I didn't get a chance to watch the show before because it was like 3 days, the event, but my category was one of the first. I didn't have time to watch. So basically I saw the stage when I was in the stage already. And that was tough because I remember, and it was like super warm. So I wasn't sure if I was sweating from
Spain, yeah?
Yeah, from like being nervous or if just because it was actually warm. And then when I went upstairs to be on stage, my first step, and when I looked, like everybody there, cameras everywhere, like huge, like all of ours, like that bright light on us. I was like, oh my God. Oh my gosh. And like, you cannot see in the video, thank God, but like I was shaking. So I couldn't do my best there because I was super nervous. So yeah, I worked a lot about not being that shy as I used to be. And for the regional and national championship worked. But when I went there for the European championship, it was like wow, it came up, everything. And then I started like shaking. And then in the second time that I had to be back on stage, I was in the backstage trying to calm down and relax, okay, let's try again, because it's definitely like a challenge in every point of view, like diet training, posing, and also be on stage wearing a bikini.
Yeah. Would you use some sort of positive affirmations, looking into mirror, as some actors do, singers do, some, presenters do? They kind of psych themselves up into things. Do you use something?
A simple thing. Actually, my posing coach, she told me, she gave me this tip. Prating all the time. What's
that?
Prating.
What's that?
Prating.
Prating?
Prating. Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Like practicing.
Practicing, yeah.
Practicing like every day. Because the same way that we do like for our classes, once you are confident about the movement that you're going to do, you feel like more confident.
So the more you prepare yourself, the more you are confident about it.
Of doing it, definitely. Yeah. And also one thing, do it publicly. Like
speaking?
Not actually, like when you're doing your posing, like your eye walking. For example, I used to practice in the gym. And
so people look at you.
People were around looking at me, maybe think like, what's going on there?
What is she doing?
Yeah. And I was feeling awkward at the beginning, but after a while, I started like being like used to it. Like, I don't care what they are thinking. I know that they have no idea what's going on here, but like, I don't care. And then I started doing it in the functional area upstairs in Aston Key.
Yeah.
Even more people around.
It's a blue room, yeah. Even
like more people around. So again, like first days was like, oh, a little bit like shy, but after a while, okay, got used to it. So that was like a good tip. But yeah, that's the way that I did.
And you still work there, or you moved up already?
I moved up, yeah. Working in another gym now. And trying to work and have my clients on my own too. Like
because you own your business? In the time of lockdowns, it's actually good to own your own business.
Yeah.
Because when the gym closes and you realize, hey, what do I actually have?
Yeah.
That was a big game changer for me.
Yeah, that was a game change definitely for me too, because I was being like super insecure also about my job because I was like new in the industry. But I'm always like putting like every effort on it, like studying all the time and asking my friends or whatever, like always like studying. And also like from my experience, because I never thought about considering my own experience too. And then took me a while to start doing like one-to-one personal training and then online coaching. But once I start doing, worked well. And nowadays, that's the most thing I have been doing, like personal training, one-to-one personal training and online coaching, which is my like favorite thing to do.
Because I like it anywhere.
Sorry?
You can do it anywhere.
Yeah. And also it is definitely the thing that I like to do the most, like more than teaching classes or whatever, because I like to have this close contact with clients. So
what exactly would you do online? It will be a consultation or training itself?
Training itself.
Training itself so online, yeah? Online. Or the training, would they take phone in their gym and they would just make you to see them?
No. So it's a consultation.
Yeah, so consulting rather than training. Because I do some online coaching. Well, I actually coach people to train. Let's say they have like a little home studio, let's say, and then I train them at home.
Okay, that's
so
nice.
I actually tell them what to do. That's how I do it as well.
Okay, that's nice. What I do is consultation. So I basically have an app. So after they fill out the form, we always like ask for a form before, and then I build up their workout program. And for each exercise, they have like a video explaining how to do.
Your own videos? Or you use the app as someone external you hire, or you made your own library? I have my own videos, but I also have like videos from the library. So sometimes when they don't have the exercise that I want, that I need, I do myself
the video, and I put in the app.
So what kind of app do you use? Just for those, let's say, coaches that might be listening and thinking of what they can use.
It's actually an app from Brazil.
Is it? So, okay.
Yeah.
You're training mostly Brazilians?
No, actually,
Not
because it allows me to work in 3 languages, in
Okay.
English, Spanish, and Portuguese. So that's what I like working on. But there's an app called True Coach, if I'm not wrong. I think that's some people.
True Coach?
Yeah. I've never used, but I've heard that lots of PT have been using it. And it's nice because like they can, at least like the app that I'm using, they can see the exercise, like the technique, and then they can go for it. But I always ask them to, or we do once a week, or at least for one of each session, they would have like back day, chest day, leg day, doing a video call or record doing the exercise so I can correct them. In the app, you also have the option for them to upload their videos there, and then I can check. And then park you too, so lots of tactics to have a look on their technique to avoid like injuries, and help them in the best way.
Just making plans for them, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Sorry for that.
No problem.
So, yeah, just before we wrap it up, would you have life philosophy, something you follow, your sort of 10 commandments or whatever it is?
Sorry, again?
Would you have a life philosophy, like a little sort of like a life method?
Oh, yeah.
Some principles you might follow?
Not actually, but what I have been thinking about my job a lot, like recently, and I think that makes me like think something that's happened in my life that I become thinking like why I am doing it in terms of personal training, for example, and why do I love this? But basically, it's because it's not only about like the body transformation. It's basically to see how I can help them to change their lives. That's the thing that makes me happy, because, for example, I have a client, he is competing soon. When we first met, he was like, of course, like fast, and not confident, like low energy. And after months, so we started in last year in October, nowadays, he's a completely different person. And now I'm not talking only in like physical way. His mindset, his life, his confidence has changed a lot. And then for me, this is priceless. And then I start thinking like, yeah, that's the reason why I do love my job. Definitely. Like, that's it. That's what I want to keep doing.
Thank you, Leticia. And where could our listeners, viewers find you? Social media, what you called there?
Basically Instagram. That's the platform I use the most. It's called like lepimenta.ft.
Le Pimenta?
Yeah.
So LEPIM.
LEPIM. No, LEPIMENTA.ft.
There we go. I'll write it somewhere.
Yeah. Or if you were down like my first and last name, you would find me. Like it's not a common name.
Leticia Pimenta.
Pimenta, yeah.
There we go. All right. Thank you so much. It was nice chat.
Thank you for inviting me. I think like podcasts are very, very important because like you can actually listen to different point of views about like different subjects, and this motivates people to in whatever area, like listen from different professionals. So this is very important. So thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you so much.
And that's it.
Yeah, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
I talk to you soon. Thank you.
Bye.